Okay, items due by Tuesday morning at 4 o'clock in Canvas. You will have a screenshot of the assignment that was given to you in class, which most of you have finished, which shows the cut and fill, two different colors, okay? So you'll have that. Next, you will have a spreadsheet spreadsheet that tells me what the cubic inches of cut and fill were for each pad. So this is for the generic exercise that you were assigned to do in class. Okay? So that's pretty easy. I think most of you were done when I looked. Okay? So that's one thing. Number two, you will build the topo model as I've shown you back there. All right? As I mentioned, Alejandro built that model in 3.5 hours from 10 sheets of 1/8 inch corrugated. Okay? You will also build a topo model in Rhino. Okay? So I will put onto the server the drawing, the AutoCAD drawing of the model. That way you guys can use that if you want as a reference. But you are to build a topo, right? A step topo of the same site that you are building a physical model of. Okay? And finally, you are to review the program. Okay? And in the digital topo, you are to break the project prompt requirements up into pads, okay, without taking into consideration anything dealing with climate or anything, all right, just from a pure design perspective, you will create a minimum of 5 pads, a maximum of 10, which are 3 feet apart and are arranged into a composition. Okay?
3 feet apart so they're not overlapping?
No, the 3 feet differential.
Okay.
Same as what you just did. Same as what you just did. But this is going to be based on the program for the project. I'm not going to make you guys cut your physical model with that yet, but you will have to submit screenshots of the model that you do in Rhino by 4 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. Okay? All right, any questions?
Are you going to upload the thing to Extra right now, the topo?
I'm going to find the topo and upload it to the X drive.
Does the differential have to be 3 feet?
Yes.
Or could it be more?
No, 3 feet. For this next iteration, it's 3 feet. And you're required to have a minimum of 5 pads and a maximum of 10. Okay? They need to be logical. So when you decide on a pad, it needs to be a logical arrangement. Okay? So you've got to reference the program and divide it up so that it makes sense. All right, other questions? Yep.
What was the spreadsheet that you talked about?
In class today, I showed you guys how I used the Boolean two-way split, right, to calculate the area that was infill and the area that was cut on each pad. Remember, I lifted them up into space so you could see them, and I did. Mine were 155,000 cubic inches versus 165 cubic inches, so they were pretty close to balanced. I want to see those in your. Remember, for the in-class version, you're supposed to do 2 different things. You're supposed to do the one where you show all of the pads, kind of two-way split, and then you're supposed to do another one where everything is Boolean and the faces are merged and it looks nice and pretty and clean. So there's 2 of them side by side. Okay. So the spreadsheet is just simply pad 1, this many cubic inches of fill, this many cubic inches of cut. And I showed you how to do that. You just type in area, click on the cut, and it tells you this many cubic inches. Do the same thing for the fill, and if they're pretty close to balanced, I'm good with it. I do not want to see a giant crater. Okay? That's why before we get to climate, before we get to anything, you guys are going to be approaching this from the standpoint of working with the topography, okay, to step up the hill. I know that this is not going to be your final design. That we know that. But your final design will be terraced. Okay? All right, any other questions? So I'm going to put two things on the server. One is the drawing, the AutoCAD drawing. No, just one thing on the server. The AutoCAD drawing, and I will also put the project prompt. Okay? You guys can take both of those off the server. All right. Okay, that's it. See you guys Tuesday. Don't forget, 4 in the morning, everything is due in either screenshot or photograph onto the server, or onto Canvas.